Hello, welcome to the Big and Tall Movie Review Show. We are in 2013. We're bringing you our reviews of the movies, and we're very happy to be back. With me, as always, is
Big Red
and
Maximus.
Max has made a permanent stay here on the Movie Review Show. We decided we wanted to keep his expertise to help us out. God knows I need it. All right. We're going to kick off 2013 kind of looking back at some of the movies during the holiday season that are still out at the theaters that we want to make sure everybody would check out, or what we think our opinion is of these films. Did y'all have a good holiday?
Oh, very good holiday.
Okay.
Yeah, nice and rested, ready to go.
It was great. The weather wasn't too bad. And
Yeah. Good to a lot of eats, a lot of drinks. All right. Well, we're going to open up with the movie that came out right around Christmas time. This is Django Unchained. This is Quentin Tarantino, always one of my favorites, directorial spaghetti western style film starring Jamie Foxx, Christopher Waltz, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's rated R. It's about 5 hours long, actually 165 minutes long. With the help of a German bounty hunter, a freed slave sets out to rescue his wife from a brutal Mississippi plantation owner. We're going to go you a little clip here for it. This one's Django Unchained.
What's your name?
I'm on a rise right out of the ground.
Django. Then you're exactly the one I'm looking for.
Hey, stop talking to him.
Calm down. I'm simply a customer trying to conduct a transaction.
Last chance, fancy pants.
Oh, very well.
What a bounty hunter is? You kill, and they give you a reward.
Better they are, bigger the reward. I need your help. I'm looking for the Brittle Brothers.
However, I don't know what they look like, but you do. Don't you? They caught my wife, and they sold her, but I don't know who to.
That means we visit every plantation until we find them. Once a final Brittle Brother lies dead in the dust, I agree to give you your freedom, and I'll take you to rescue your wife.
So, Maximus, I think you might have a take on this film. What do you think of the Quentin Tarantino's latest film?
I would call it possibly my favorite Tarantino movie.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was just great from start to finish, if you ask me. I really like Christoph Waltz. I think he's fast becoming one of my favorite actors of the day.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, he fits real well with the style. Him and Tarantino have hit it off. I like Tarantino because he, unlike Stanley Kubrick and some of these other big directors who kind of use actors and leave them, he always goes back to the guys he likes, and he's kind of a buddy of buddies, and it's good to see him using Waltz again.
Yeah, and also Leonardo DiCaprio was really good in this movie.
Yes.
Kind of way outside of his usual his comfort zone, I guess I would say.
I've heard he's real sleazy in this.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. Well, and he does it well at the same time. You know, he's got that kind of sleazy, snarky smile, nice guy attitude while he's doing extremely
He's probably not real
horrible
far
things.
from his normal self in it. No, I'm kidding.
So
yeah.
it's horrible yet likable in the movie.
Yeah, I heard that, I've heard, Tarantino always brings the violence. I mean, that's what he does. And it's, so I figured there's plenty of that. I mean, you were saying a lot of red goo in this one. I mean,
there was lots of blood. I mean, the amount of blood in this movie could rival Evil Dead 2.
Oh, wow. Lots of splatter. Yeah, and I'm a big Western fan of old. I mean, I watch boring Glenn Ford stuff and Eastwood stuff, so I'm really eager to try to find the time, because you're going to need it. It's a long one, but you said it seemed like it went pretty quick.
I had heard before seeing the movie that it seemed extremely long, but I really didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of comedy
really
peppered in through the movie. It was funnier than
you would expect,
than Tarantino's films usually are.
Really?
I wonder, and I've read too that Samuel L. Jackson really has an interesting role in this, kind of.
Yeah,
little different.
He plays the DiCaprio's kind of head house slave who has buddied up to his master in a pretty extreme way.
Oh,
walks
really?
around like his best friend and orders the other slaves around.
Oh, really? So Jackson's kind of his head honcho.
Actually, some of the best scenes were those two together,
And
kind
their
of bouncing
banter.
stuff off of each other.
Wow, that's intriguing. Would like to see that.
Now, how was sometimes this guy's real hit and miss with me, but how was Jamie Foxx in this as Django?
He actually did really well.
He
He
sold
kind of
it, yeah.
he starts off real kind of quiet and reserved, and then when he starts getting into the bounty hunter thing, he starts kind of releasing his inner badass.
Really, that's good. He's not. Has he done a lot of action? I mean, not a big gunfire.
He's had a few action movies.
Yeah, kind of
throughout his
more earlier
career.
before he was kind of more famous, I guess you would say.
The Kingdom.
Yeah.
Comes to
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah, and I read now that Tarantino, when he wrote this, actually wrote it for Will Smith. I'm just,
Really?
yeah, that's who he wanted all
Yeah.
along. But I'm
I
just
think
curious,
he-
how would that have worked? And now that you've seen it, what?
Oh, Will Smith would have been Will Smithing up the role all over the
Yeah.
place. I think Jamie Foxx was a much better actor.
It seems
than
like
Will Smith.
Fox has a little more edge in his face as far as looking intense and.
Yeah, but it's just something about I trust Tarantino that I think he would have made it work.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, who would have thought John Travolta back when he cast him in Pulp Fiction? That was way.
yeah.
So
yeah.
it would have been curious to see.
It may very well have been good still, but it would have been a much different.
I kind of
movie.
agree with Max on the Will Smithing it up thing. I wonder what that was all about.
And he would have tried to bring his son into it. and-
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I would like to check this one out. You don't see modern day westerns that often, so it's kind of cool to see him pulling back the reins. I'm glad to see Tarantino doing something because he kind of took a long break there and was kind of rolling in his money from the early successes of Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown and such. But it's good to see him kind of consistently doing something. I don't know how long ago Inglourious Basterds was what
A couple years ago.
Couple years
so
ago.
I think next up he's working on a volume 3
Yeah.
of Kill Bill.
I've also heard he may go back to the Inglorious Bastards well and do something.
Something along those lines.
Yeah,
too.
maybe something that maybe dealing with like African American soldiers, which I'm sure that'll thrill Spike
I would
Lee.
think
that,
Waltz's character's a little. I
Yeah.
would think Waltz's character in this is a little more appealing versus the slimy role he played in Bastards or
The Jew Hunter.
yeah, which originally that was supposed to be DiCaprio.
no,
And
that's
scheduling things threw that out of whack, and
That's
and-
interesting.
Yeah,
well, I probably finding Waltz. I think really helped his career.
Well, and I think Waltz is definitely I think he would consider him the odds-on favorite this year for the best supporting actor.
Yeah.
Oscar.
But it didn't have so much blood. Like what was it? Kill Bill had so much blood they had to start doing it in green splatter because they
black and white.
they,
some of the
they
scenes.
didn't go that far.
The blood in Kill Bill kind of reminded me of Tarantino's obsession with anime, kind of where the blood shoots
Well,
out.
and there was
Yeah.
also a lot
10
of
feet.
body parts falling off in Kill Bill too, heads
Yeah.
and arms and
in Django Unchained, it seemed more like the slight. Well, I mean, not realistic, but just more blood being pumped out.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. Seemed like a real solid cast in this one. So, but yes, I definitely want to check it out. Do you have anything else you think you might want to mention? Is any big hooks in it or anything that story-wise it?
Story-wise, I mean, it pretty much lays it out for you in
Uh-huh.
the preview. It
And
doesn't stray
doesn't
too
zoom
far
up.
from that, but it's a really good movie. I would have to give it 5 out of 6 scans.
All
right.
right. And I thought I would do my final take on this. I'm going to do this a little more often. My final take will be the layman's terms take of the everyday man. You'll never be disappointed with the dialogue in a Tarantino movie, and it sounds like he hits the verbiage out of the park in this one again. You're not going to get any lame, just dry, I'm here to kill you, or something. He's got something to say. All of his characters seem to, are well versed in their speaking skills. It's kind of a trait I think he takes from his own self. So, all right.
Well, what we got next on the list?
I
here,
think
RC?
on the next film we're going to discuss, and this one just came out in theaters. Big Red's going to touch on this, and so will I. This one's Zero Dark 30. For a decade, an elite team of intelligent military operatives work in secret across the globe, devoting themselves to a single goal: to find and eliminate Osama bin Laden. This is a reunites Oscar-winning team Catherine Bigelow, who's I think James Cameron's ex, are still married to her, and writer-producer Mark Bowl, who did the Hurt Locker. We're going to do a little clip on this one as well. This one is Zero Dark 30.
Can I be honest with you? I am bad news. I'm not your friend. I'm not gonna help you. I'm gonna break you. Nice to meet you.
You too, sir.
You really believe this story? Osama bin Laden?
Yeah.
What convinced you?
Her confidence.
Okay, this is kind of a military-esque, America, good guys taking on the Arabs, bad guys type film, which I think is kind of, the Arab nations have kind of taken over back in the 80s when we had the bad communists all the time with the Russians. We're going to do a quick break, and we're going to come back and give you our review for Zero Dark 30. We're up on the 15-minute break. We'll be right back with more of the Big and Tall Movie Review Show.